And so in that awareness of the soul, there's pain now. I'm not getting what I want. And the pain keeps growing, and I have to find a cause for that pain. And of course, it's always easier to point out there rather than see the 3 fingers that are pointing towards me. And so I'm wasting the energy of my mind. When there are waste thoughts like this, they can very easily become negative thoughts also. But even the waste, it's draining me of my spiritual power, my inner capacity, my inner energy. It's wasting my time. It's not allowing me to see things very clearly. So my decision making is impacted. It's a huge loss. Another side to it. Okay, so I ask myself the question, well, how come it didn't work out? And I begin to see the real purpose of not being able to go there or do this or buy this and whatever. And I say, thank you. Thank you to drama, this drama of life in which so much is happening. And I say, there was good reason that it didn't happen. I feel protected. I feel gratitude that it didn't happen. And so I've turned it around and I've been able to say, okay, there was meaning in it. There was significance to it. And the most important significance was that I should never have had that desire. I didn't need it. I just wanted it. There wasn't a purpose to it. There was no meaning to it. And so now that it's unfulfilled, I say, thank you. I accept the situation as it is, and I'm grateful. It didn't work out as I wanted it, but it's true. It saved me time. It saved me money. It saved me energy. Thank you. And so you can see how learning to manage myself is something that I have to learn about. Can I turn every situation around in a positive way by reflection, by understanding, by knowing myself? And so if I'm only looking at things superficially, then I'm wasting a lot of time, money, and energy, and I'm not changing. A long time ago, Daddy Jayanti said something very interesting. She was always coming out with interesting things. She said, the worst thing for someone who's on a spiritual journey is to hear these words that in the world outside would be considered very good. But for those on a spiritual journey, it's really not good at all. And those words are, you're just the same as you were before. And of course, if you're talking about things on a physical level, and if I have no more wrinkles, if I have no more gray hair, if I am as the same physically, externally as I was, probably that's a compliment. But if what they mean is that I haven't learned, I haven't progressed, I haven't understood how to manage myself, and I'm still making mistakes in the same way that I was making a year ago when they last saw me, 10 years ago when they saw me, whatever it is. And so it's not a compliment on a spiritual journey to hear, you're just the same as you were. No, it's definitely not. With this practice of introspection and checking what's happening and changing the way I respond to things. Every day, I'll be reinventing myself. There'll be something new I'm learning and applying in my life, and it's carrying me forward. And yes, I'll be able to move to that destination, which is a very sacred destination and could be described in 3 different ways. You could call it coming to the stage of total purity. You could call it the stage of reaching my own highest potential. And you could also call it that stage in which I've settled all my karmic accounts. So whatever language you want to use, but am I day by day moving forward towards that destination, which is the one that I have chosen for myself, that is the destination for my life. And so self-management means learning, changing, moving, and knowing that there's a set time that I have. I don't know how many days, months, years I still have. And of course, even when doctors have predicted that somebody has 6 months and 3 years later, they're still managing, or the doctors predict that this is going to be fast. And yet it's much faster than anybody ever imagined. And within a couple of weeks, they've gone. So we cannot predict how much time we have to reach that destination of the 3 things that I mentioned earlier. And so can I now actually use my time in a worthwhile way so that I learn to manage these sorts of situations that I've spoken about, but also think about things connected. My anger. Do I know how deep my anger is? Maybe I don't. Maybe when others say to me, but you're an angry person, and I'm shocked. I never thought of myself as an angry person. But it triggers something within my mind. I say, I'm going to check. And if in situations there's a natural, immediate response of anger, well, that's telling me a story. And until now, maybe I'd never explored it and realized that I do have anger. Or maybe circumstances have been very kind to me. And this is why I've never had to be angry and insist on this way or that way and whatever. But now I'm beginning to see my control issues, my anger issues, and control issues lead to anger issues very definitely. Things are slipping out of my control. And as a result of that, I'm really feeling insecure. And so I think control is the way. And if my control is beginning to leave me for many different types of reasons, but am I now able to see what it is I need to do with my anger? I spoke about instability earlier. So one moment I'm approachable, the next moment I'm definitely not. So what's going on inside of me that creates this response that others see in a very visible way? And so at one point of time, I'm smiling, I'm supportive. And at another point of time, I'm not supportive, I'm not smiling, I'm not giving proper attention to whatever the needs of the others are. And so what's happened to my mood? My mood is connected very much with my thoughts, my thoughts create my feelings, and my feelings create my mood. And so, who's in charge? Am I managing myself and I am in charge of myself? Well, let me ask this question. To what extent do I have control issues? I'll give you a few minutes to reflect on this. And the power of love and the power of truth enable me to remove those masks and what is under those masks is that which is beautiful, that which is itself true. And so from the divine, the power of truth moves me in the direction of truth. As I fill myself with love, with truth, I recognize that not only are these qualities reaching I, the soul, but in fact, the love, the truth, is reaching out into all the corners of this universe and bringing about change. Love touching the hearts of the entire human family,